Hi there, Ariel and David, and Kai Metal, Danielle, Lee, and Maya. So this week's Parsha, there's a very stark opening line. It says, "Behold, I have put before you two paths to choose in life, that which will bring blessing and that which will bring a curse." And the Midrash discusses a way where we can sort of stay on the straight and narrow by hearing God's messages, and a way to get back on the straight and narrow. The way to hear God's messages, it's interesting, the Midrash says that they're coming all the time. At every moment, God is communicating with you. In fact, there's a famous quote attributed to the great Hasidic master, the Baal Shem Tov. I'll read it to you. In English, it says, "Every single thing that a person sees or hears is an instruction to him in his conduct in the service of God." That means we're getting messages all the time. You could be driving and seeing a billboard. You could go online and read something. You can overhear a conversation, or you can get direct conversation. God is always sending messages, and our challenge is to process them, hear them, and take away something that if it's relevant for us as a course correction, to take it to heart. So that's how we can choose a life of blessing. And if we feel that we want to enrich our life spiritually, there's two suggestions that the Midrash makes. Number one is the Sabbath, and number two is tithing, giving 1/10, giving charity, basically. Now, why those two things? Well, it's obvious. Keeping the Sabbath is attesting that God created the world in 6 days. On the seventh day, He rested. So you're basically saying, I hereby acknowledge that you created the world. And when you're tithing, when you're giving back to God from what God has blessed you with, well, of course, you're basically saying God created my world. God gave me everything I have, my salary, my stock options, my bank account, everything I have, all the blessings I have, my home, everything I have is something that God gave me. So if I'm showing that fundamental belief, then that can help us get back on the straight and narrow. There's a very interesting concept of tithing from your talents. In other words, the example given is that if you're, have a beautiful voice, so be a cantor in a synagogue. Or at least if you're in the synagogue, volunteer to get up there. I know Chaim has a beautiful voice, as everyone in the Levy family does. And so that's true no matter what you do. I was telling Ariel that, if he has talents in helping, being a therapist, that he should perhaps take on clients that can't afford it. And of course, he told me that he does already. But each of us have to think about what our talents are and how we can tithe from them. So that's a very interesting concept. So to close, based on that, Baal Shem Tov, that everything you see and hear and read is a message from God. I hereby declare that this video is a message from God. Woo! Fire and brimstones. Okay. Guys, I noticed a sort of drop off in the comments, so I hope we can get some pushback and feedback. Love you all. Have a great Shabbat.